अब बच्चे खुश और मम्मी भी। कारवां मिनी किड्स।
Hello children, we are back again and this time it's for fairy tales. You must have read a lot of stories and heard a lot of stories. But this time I'm going to sing fairy tales for you. Alright? The first one is Goldilocks and the Three Bears. There was a little girl named Goldilocks. She was famous for her golden locks. One day she went right into the woods to pick up berries as fast as she could. She lost her way, and there she stood, afraid of animals living in the wood. She ran here and she ran there. She didn't know what to do. She was full of fear of being alone in the woods.
I have lost my way. I have lost my way. What shall I do? What shall I do? I'm so tired and hungry too. I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid. Oh dear. Oh dear.
But suddenly, what did Goldilocks see? She saw a house, it was nice and bright. It looked so lovely, it was a beautiful sight.
Ooh, what a beautiful house. Who must be living in this house? Is anybody in?
There was no reply, not even a sigh. She opened the door, stepped on the floor, and saw nobody inside. Goldilocks walked in slowly. This cottage belonged to the Three Bears. Children, you know where the Three Bears had gone?
Where had they gone?
Well, the porridge that Mama Bear made was hot, so the bears left it for cooling. Then Goldilocks decided to go in and see. She walked in slowly and quietly, not making a single sound, lest somebody should be there. Oh, but what did she see? She saw 3 bowls full of porridge. She was delighted. She was hungry. The porridge was on the table. She was hungry. So she tried the porridge from Papa Bear's bowl.
Ouch! It's too hot!
Then she took the next bowl. It was Mama Bear's bowl. Then she tried Mama Bear's porridge.
Oh, it's too cold.
Then Goldilocks looked and Baby Bear's bowl was right there. She tasted it. Baby Bear's porridge was a perfect treat, so Goldilocks had a lovely feast. Goldilocks was hungry, so she ate and ate and ate. And she ate it all up. After eating up all the porridge, Goldilocks was tired, and so she decided to sit.
Then what happened, Auntie?
Papa Bear's chair was too high to sit.
This is too high.
Mama Bear's chair was too low.
This is too low.
But Baby Bear's chair was just right, so she sat on it without any fright. She sat and sat. Then you know what happened, children? The bottom fell out of the chair. Poor Goldilocks. She sat on the floor in utter despair. Soon Goldilocks was sleepy.
Oh, I'm so tired.
Goldilocks was tired. She looked around. And what did she see? She saw 3 beds.
I want to go to bed. I am so tired. I need some rest.
So Goldilocks lay on Papa Bear's bed.
This is too hard.
She found it too hard. So she got down from Papa Bear's bed and went to the second bed. This was Mama Bear's bed. She slept on Mama Bear's bed. But Goldilocks was not happy.
It's too soft.
She found it too soft. Then she went to the third bed. It was Baby Bear's bed. It was not too hard, not too soft. Just right. As she was tired, she fell fast asleep. As she was sleeping in the world of dreams, she was not aware that it was time for the bears to be back home. She went on sleeping and sleeping. Suddenly, oh dear, oh dear! The 3 bears came back from their walk, dancing, prancing and rolling. They sat at the table to eat their porridge that they had left for cooling. Oh dear, what did they see? Somebody had been eating their porridge. Papa Bear was very, very angry.
Who's been eating my porridge?
Then Mama Bear looked at her bowl. Who's been eating my porridge? But for poor old Baby Bear.
And who's been eating my porridge and has eaten it all up?
Hungry, the poor little bear didn't know what to do. Suddenly, Papa Bear looked at his chair.
Who's been sitting on my chair?
Then Mama Bear looked at her chair. Who's been sitting on my chair? Then Baby Bear looked at his chair.
Who's been sitting on my chair and has broken it?
Oh, how sad he was to see his broken chair. Now the three bears were very tired, so they decided to go to bed. Papa Bear looked at his bed. He saw the bed which he had left nice and clean was very untidy. He knew somebody had used his bed. He growled aloud.
Who's been sleeping on my bed?
When Mama Bear went to sleep on her bed, she was taken by surprise. Her bed was crumpled and untidy too.
Who's been sleeping on my bed?
When Baby Bear saw his bed, he couldn't believe his eyes.
Who's been sleeping on my bed? And look, she's still there. Oh dear.
On hearing the sound of the three bears, Goldilocks opened her eyes. She was shocked to see the three bears, all of a different size. The bears looked at her with anger. They would eat her up, she thought. To catch her, the bears ran behind her, but Goldilocks could not be caught. She jumped out just in time and ran out through the door. The three bears ran behind her. But could not catch up at all.
That was a lovely story.
You liked it? Good. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Which story do you want to hear today?
Red Riding Hood, please.
Red Riding Hood. Is it? You want to hear Red Riding Hood?
Yes.
Or should we hear some other story?
No, please. No, Red Riding Hood, please.
Okay.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl. She lived with her mother and some people in the neighborhood. She often used to wear red cape and hood, and so she was called Little Red Riding Hood. One bright sunny day, she had gone out to play. Her mother called her in and said, "Please carry this basket to your loving grandma. I have packed for her some goodies and bread." So her mother put in the goodies and bread in the basket, and she called out for Red Riding Hood. "Red Riding Hood, here, take this and be careful."
Yes, Mother, don't worry.
Wait, and listen carefully to what I have to say. Don't talk to anyone. Don't stop on the way. It will do you no good. Listen well, I pray. Nodding, Red Riding Hood took the basket in hand and said,
Bye-bye, Mother. Bye.
"Goodbye, my child." Waving goodbye to her mother, she crossed a bit of land, walking merrily away, carrying her basket with goodies for her grandma. In a minute, she was happily skipping along on the way through the forest. On the branches of trees, she heard the twittering of birds as they sang so merrily. From branch to branch, little animals were swinging. Nature was at its best. She saw the little rabbits nibbling leaves and grass, and chipmunks and squirrels were scampering across. Ahead of her were beautiful flowers with charming colors and fragrance. For Grandma she picked a few flowers, but some of the blossoms fell. While she was gathering flowers, a wolf appeared on the scene. He had a harsh and heavy voice that sounded loud and mean. The wicked wolf came near Red Riding Hood. Red Riding Hood was afraid. She had never seen the wolf before. She didn't know what to do. In his harsh and mean voice, the wicked wolf said,
"Oh, pretty child, where are you going?"
I'm going to my grandma.
Oh, you are going to see your grandma.
Trembling, Red Riding Hood looked at him. The wolf looks were scary. He looked at Red Riding Hood with hungry eyes and said,
I am hungry. I wanna eat. What are you carrying in your basket?
I'm carrying some goodies for my grandma.
You are carrying goodies for your grandma.
The wolf came still closer to her. Seeing the wicked wolf come closer, Little Red Riding Hood moved back. She was afraid. She knew what he was trying to do. She quickly picked up a basket and ran as fast as she could.
Oh, where has she gone?
As he could not catch her, he was angry. But now he knew that the Little Red Riding Hood was going to see her grandmother. Her grandmother lived on the other side of the forest. He had dangerous plans. Many shortcuts through the jungle he knew. He took one and ran till the house was in view. On reaching the house, at the door he knocked, expecting Little Red Riding Hood, Grandma unlocked. The grandma looked. Who was that? The wicked wolf jumped on her. He got her and tied her and left her in a room. She was frightened and trembling. She didn't know what was happening. Little Red Riding Hood came down hurrying. The wolf shouldn't catch her all the way she kept worrying that he was in the house, no idea did she have. Wearing grandma's clothes and glasses, the wolf lay in bed. On reaching the house, she knocked at the door. There was no reply. Little Red Riding Hood pushed the door. She looked around, but she couldn't see her grandma. She shouted,
Grandma! Grandma!
She rushed in the house and kept the basket on the floor. But she couldn't see her grandma. She shouted again,
Grandma! Grandma! Where are you?
Trying to sound like her grandmother, the wolf called her.
I am here. I am here. Come in, my dear.
He said. Little Red Riding Hood went inside. She was surprised. She was really surprised to see her grandmother lying in bed. She had never seen her like this before. The sly wolf realized that something was worrying Red Riding Hood. So he said again,
Come closer, my dear, so that I can see you well.
She went slightly closer and looked at his eyes and said,
Oh, grandmother, what big eyes you have!
so that I can see you better.
the wolf said slyly. Then she looked at his ears.
Oh, grandmother, what big ears you have!
So that I can hear you better.
Then she looked at his nose.
Oh, grandmother, what big nose you have!
So that I can smell you better.
And then she looked at his teeth.
Oh, grandmother, what big teeth you have!
So that I can eat you better.
The hungry wolf could wait no longer. He jumped out of bed. He tried to grab her. Little Red Riding Hood ran around dodging the wolf. She was very frightened. She felt she couldn't shout. But gathering all her strength for help, she screamed aloud.
Help! Help! Help me, please!
The animals in the forest heard a faint and feeble cry.
Help! Help!
There was a woodcutter who was working nearby. The woodcutter was cutting firewood. He heard Little Red Riding Hood cry for help.
Help! Help! Help me, please!
He put down his axe. But he thought that it is his imagination. So he picked up his axe and started working again. With a long, sharp axe, he started cutting firewood. Again, he heard the cry of Little Red Riding Hood. He left his work half done as things seemed grim and ran towards the house, his axe with him. The woodcutter ran. He ran as fast as he could, his axe with him. He soon reached the house. On reaching the house, he dashed in through the door. He struck the wolf a mighty blow. In pain and agony, the wolf screamed. He fell every time he went to the door. Still in anger, the woodman hit him hard. He beat him, he struck him, the wolf fell on the floor. That's the end of the big bad wolf. The woodcutter untied the grandma.
Are you all right, Grandma?
Yes, my son, I'm all right.
Oh, don't worry. The wolf is dead.
Oh, thank you, my child. Where is my Little Red Riding Hood?
I'm here, Grandma. I'm here.
Grandma quickly ran to the little girl. She wiped away her tears. She picked her up and hugged her. Oh, my child. Oh, my little child. Are you all right? Are you all right?
Yes, Grandma. I'm all right.
Oh, that's good. My baby. They both hugged each other. Grandma was very happy to see Little Red Riding Hood safe and sound. Then Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother thanked thanked the woodcutter for what he had done. He had saved their lives. Thank you, my son, for saving us from that wicked wolf. God bless you, my child. Goodbye.
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 Later that day, Little Red Riding Hood started back to go home. She had no more fear of the wolf. The wicked wolf was dead. She could now easily roam in the woods. As she went back, she played with the small animals on the way, enjoying it. As soon as she reached back home, she told her mother of all that had happened. Her mother thanked God that her Little Red Riding Hood was safe and sound. Little Red Riding Hood told her mother that she was not afraid of anything, but she promised that on the way to her grandmother, she will never again talk to strangers.
It was a lovely story. Yes, it was a lovely story. Yes, it was a lovely story.
It was a lovely story.
The story was lovely. The wolf was very cunning. I hate wolves.
We all hate wolves. They are really very cunning. But children, what did you learn from the story? Can you tell me?
I'll tell you, Auntie. We must obey and respect our elders, and we must not speak to strangers on the way.
That's right. That is very good. We must obey and respect our elders and not speak to strangers on the way. And I hope you all will remember this. Will you?
Yes, yes, yes.
That's very good.
Krishna in Vrindavan. Krishna and Balaram both used to play a lot with boys of their age. One day, when they were playing, an old woman came. She was selling fruits, but no one seemed to buy them. She was quite old and tired. Krishna saw her and asked her to sell fruits to him. The old lady was very happy. She put down her basket and started giving him fruits. The old lady needed to be paid some grains in return. Krishna went inside and got grains for her in his small palms. By the time he reached her, most of the grains had fallen down. Only a very few were left, which the lady took happily. She kept the grains in her basket and left. The old lady reached her home and opened her basket. To her surprise, the basket was now filled with diamonds and pearls. Gokul was having many such miracles nowadays. Despite of these, the villagers were getting worried. They had started thinking that their village had become a favorite spot of evil spirits. They had seen demons like Putana and Bakasur, the whirlwind, and also the uprooting of trees. They all decided to shift to a safer village. They came across Vrindavan. It was a good and safe place to stay. It had lush green grass for their cattle to graze. Yamuna river flowed nearby. The troop was led by the young men whom the old followed. The young boys set up their tents there in Vrindavan, and all the villagers decided to stay there. The cattle were also happy with the lush grass. Krishna and Balaram were growing stronger with each passing day. Krishna is born. Devaki gave birth to her 8th child. Vasudev was the first one to see him. The child was in the form of Lord Vishnu. Both Devaki and Vasudev urged the Lord to change his form into a baby. They were scared of Kansa. The Lord quickly turned himself into a baby using his powers. Lord Vishnu then looked at the worried couple and smiled. He said, "Do not be so afraid. Take me to Gokul right now. There you will have to put me in Yashoda's house and bring her daughter Yoga Maya here." Vasudev agreed. He carried his son on his head in a basket. While doing so, his chains opened on their own along with the prison doors. All the guards were in deep sleep. This was all God's doing. The rain was also less that night. Sheshnag was also there, spreading its heads on them like a hood. Yamuna river, which is very deep, made way for Vasudev and Lord Vishnu. Vasudev reached Gokul safely and was surprised to see everyone sleeping there. He quickly went to Yashoda's room and kept his son there. He then picked up Yoga Maya and came back to the prison. The baby's cry woke up the guards, and they rushed to inform Kansa. He woke up quickly and reached the prison. Devaki was already in tears. She pleaded Kansa to spare the baby as it was a girl. But Kansa did not pay heed to her prayers. He snatched the girl from Devaki's hands. As Kansa was about to smash the baby on a stone, the girl slipped from his hands. She took the form of goddess Durga. She had 8 hands, each with holding either a bow, conch, disc in them. The goddess was furious with Kansa and rebuked him. She said that the 8th son had already taken birth in someone else's home. He was killing babies here for no reason. Saying this, the goddess left. Kansa was suddenly in tears of guilt. He started crying. He looked at Devaki and Vasudev with folded hands. He said, "I am very cruel and have sinned the most. I have no one with me now. I do not know what will happen to me after I die. I am so sorry." Why does Shiva wear the crescent moon? King Daksha had 27 daughters who were all married to the moon. However, the moon was more attracted to one of them, Rohini. The other daughters would often complain to Daksha that their husband was being unfair. One day, King Daksha got angry at the moon and cursed him to lose its shine day by day. From then, the moon started to lose his luminance part out of the 16 parts. Soon, the moon became ashamed. It disappeared into the ocean. After it went in the ocean, many herbs and plants which needed moonlight to grow were dying. They were getting harmed with no moon in sight. The world began to suffer. The celestial beings then advised the moon to go and take shelter in the grace of Lord Shiva. The moon had no other option but to take refuge in Lord Shiva's grace. From that day, ever graceful Lord Shiva wore the crescent moon on his head. Thereafter, he made the moon grow for 15 days and decay for the next 15 days periodically. So, it is due to Lord Shiva that the moon has become so important in the world. Wolf in disguise. There was a greedy wolf in a forest. He was always making plans of how to sustain in the forest. One day, he saw a man with a flock of sheep. He made a plan. He thought of disguising himself in sheep hide and staying with the flock. He entered the flock of sheep and was with them in the fields. At night, the entire flock with the wolf was packed in the fold. The man could not recognize the wolf as he was dressed as a sheep. The man was cooking dinner when he realized he has less food. He went to the fold to get one sheep for dinner. The man ended up picking the wolf. He took it and killed the wolf for dinner. Sometimes easy ways lead you to the worst endings. Moral: not all endings are happy.